From the darkest corners of Tumblr comes a podcast where we take two of your favorite fictional characters, get them together, and ask, do we ship it? I love saying those words, everybody. Welcome back to Ships in the Night. I'm Zach Wilson. I think Greg Goodness is here. He might still be in line waiting for his PlayStation 5 pre-order.
Yeah, Zach, I'm going to need you to just hold off with the talking. In fact, maybe we could delay the whole episode. I really got to focus on being in this queue. It's, I know everyone is really chomping at the bit, but I think I have a shot here. The Atari 2600, if I wait in this line long enough, I think I may just secure a copy of the Atari 2600, the console that everybody wants so desperately, making all the hype, all the noise. I'm getting one for my little cousin. He has black lung from working down in the coal mines, but he just wanted that new system that everyone has been talking about so bad. So the Atari 2600, I think I have a shot here.
Do you want to tell him or should I? The pre-orders for the Atari 600 are sold out. They're sold out everywhere. Hey, everybody, welcome back. That's Greg Goodness, a man lost in time and confused at geeky news. But you know who's not confused at geeky news ever? It's our guest today. I want to welcome back to the show one of our favorite guests that we ever have on Ships, because she's been around so many different episodes. And honestly, I just shipping with her and just hang out with her. It's Yael Tygiel.
Hello, everybody. Oh, applause. Thank you.
You got one person applauding. I forgot to.
My in-person applause has become infinitely more difficult to produce now that we're doing everything remotely. It seems even stranger in these times, but I like to keep up the tradition.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Well, Yael, thank you so much for coming back on this show. Are you prepared for the horrible things we're about to do to 4 to 5 fictional characters?
Oh, I'm so ready.
We've got some good ones today. We're pulling from the world of live action adventure movies. We're gonna go into some comedy and some music and some comic books, all this stuff. But I think we have to start with our first ship, and that is Indiana Jones from the aforementioned Indiana Jones, and from the Mummy franchise, it's none other than Brendan Fraser's role, which I totally didn't forget the name of as I'm giving this speech, but it's Rick O'Connell.
It doesn't matter. It's Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. I think that is the collective thing. It's weird. Harrison Ford managed to transcend of this is Indiana Jones. It's the character that's so iconic. And everyone is just no, it's Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. We don't care what his actual name was. It's just Brendan Fraser.
I mean, Rick O'Connell, now that I know his name, is definitely a memorable role. Is he maybe too similar to Indiana Jones for this relationship to work? First reactions, Yael, what did you think when we sent this to you?
I think it makes sense in that both of these men would do themselves, and I think that's why I'm yeah, of course they're together, because who wouldn't? If I would do myself as well, but these men specifically are the type of guys who want to be with themselves. They think they're better than everyone, and therefore the perfect person for them is themselves.
Harrison Ford saw the trailer for The Mummy and was just what the fuck? Just gets on the phone with his agent, furious. He's like, what do you mean too old? Never. They should have been mine, damn it.
And that is where Indiana Jones 4 came from. I like these are both really, really strong characters. They're both very much leap before look. They're also in the same time period too, so we don't even have to bend the realities of space time to get them together. They're just both adventuring around in the same era, digging up ancient artifacts. So we have to find the meet cute. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Oh, I definitely could see them at some sort of archaeology professor conference. That's where they've met, is that they were listening to each other's lectures and being like, wow, you know, I had the same thought. You're so ruggishly good looking.
Slight twist. Is it Rick giving the speech, or is it Evelyn, Rachel Weisz's character? So that, is this post the Mummy? So that Brendan's there just like hanging out, and while Harrison Ford's sitting next to, or Indiana Jones sitting next to him, just like, she's really pretty.
I like Yael's version. I like the idea of like Harrison Ford. Again, I'm just using the actors from this point forward. I don't give a shit about their actual names. It's just Harrison Ford up on a podium where he's talking about some artifact where he's like, this belongs in a museum. And he looks over and Brendan Fraser is literally like one hand on the idol.
That's it. Yes. Yes.
It's like, oh, well, the thing about that is just dashes away madly.
So it starts as a chase. Rick is stolen. What kind of artifact are we talking here? Like, are we going with like ancient Egyptian, ancient
it's gotta be
Sumerian?
Ancient. Yeah, I mean, look, if we're gonna tie it into Brendan Fraser's universe, then it has to be something that's vaguely pyramid-esque.
Hey, they went to they went to, I think, China in the third one.
That's true. One? I don't think Brendan Fraser was in the third one, dude. I think you're thinking of the Scorpion King, which, look, if we want to talk about CGI rock, then I'm all for it. But I think that's much further down the line. No, that's the sort of thing that would make Harrison Ford's head explode.
The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. They made a third one with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, shit. Well... I guess that shows how much of an impact it had on the American consciousness.
Yeah, we're ignoring that one. I agree that it has to be something Egyptian because, I was like, wait, what's Harrison Ford's name? Indiana Jones.
Now I got you doing it.
It's your fault. Indiana Jones, right? Like he's, I would say, worldly. Whereas Brendan Fraser's character, his expertise is a little more niche, a little more filtered and focused. And I think that it has to be something Egyptian that he steals. And I think that they can both teach each other things, not just about these cultures and the artifacts they've stolen, but in the bedroom.
Brendan Fraser's going to be running away right down the hallway. Very elaborate chase sequence. But the final thing is that Indiana Jones takes out that whip, wraps it around his leg, and sort of like yanks him back. And immediately, like, Brendan Fraser is hard. Like, he's just on the ground, and there's just a giant poke coming up from his pants. Is that an ancient pharaoh in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
I feel like these two, it has to be a trapped in the bottom of the temple, and they get close.
Ooh.
Oh, I can totally see that. Yeah, the walls are pushing in.
The walls push them face to face, and right as they think they're about to die, Rick just goes for it. Their bodies are pressed up against each other, not by necessarily choice at first, but because the walls are crushing the life out of them. But then the power of their love awakens the ancient Ankh of I don't know, Ra? Sure, the Ankh of Ra. Ra's just so into this ship that he's like, you know what? I'm going to let these two live. I want to see where this goes. And he pulls the walls back.
Indiana Jones is like, close your eyes. Like, Brendan Fraser's like, what? Why? Just do it. Close your eyes. And then as he does, little smooch. Just the tiniest of smooches.
You guys have described something so beautiful. I can see it. I can actually see it.
All right, so that's when these two first come together, if you will. But where does it go from there? So they eventually, the boring stuff. They solve the puzzles and escape from the tomb right as the mummy's gonna destroy. Look, this is not what we're about. Well, that stuff's all great. It's fun to watch, but that's not what we're about here on Ships of the Night. We're about the romance. So where does the romance go after they get out of the temple?
I feel like they are a passionate couple. They are a fighting and effing couple. And I think that is what they do best. And we know Indy, he's not good at relationships and commitment. So it's a lot of fighting and effing. And I think that they escape from the temple and they try to make it work. And really, Brendan Fraser gets his heart broken again and again and again. And he keeps coming back for more because Indy's just so sexy.
I mean, that's very true. Indiana Jones does not settle down.
No.
I can absolutely see that, where you run into this weird thing where, their relationship is based purely on adrenaline. And Brendan Fraser keeps having to manufacture situations in which he can get, he's like, oh no, Indy, it seems that we've stumbled into another puzzle. Like at the very tail end of the relationship, Indiana Jones is like, this is a puzzle that you made out of cardboard. And the solution is written in hieroglyphics, roughly translates to, you need to kiss Brendan Fraser. He's just like, he's taking that staff of Ra that you place in the hole so that the light shines in the exact right place, and it's slowly turning towards his crotch. It's like, oh, well, the gods want us to do this, Indiana Jones. It's the only way.
The staff of Ra has guided me towards your cock.
Yeah, essentially. But I wonder if
it becomes a competition of what the darkest, dankiest, most deep within the earth place they can get deep inside each other.
Well, I think, that's the escalation of the relationship, right? Because I think that there is, as Yael was saying, this sort of tit for tat where it's very much based on that adventure, right? Mm-hmm. And part of the fun of it is upping the stakes of how dangerous can they get? What ancient gods and tribes can they piss off while simultaneously playing footsie and getting each other off? But eventually, I think Indiana Jones is going to tire of that because Brendan Fraser is going to be, he's the one who hangs on to the franchise too long, as we've seen with Mummy 3, Legend of the Chinese Emperor or whatever, right? He doesn't know when to let it go. And Harrison Ford is very much a guy who knows when it's time to bow out of a franchise. He's not above restarting it. He'll give Brendan Fraser a booty call 20 years down the line. But I think he knows, okay, we got to wrap this up.
These are really great points. I also could see Indy getting very annoyed with Brendan Fraser's gonna, as he manufactures these adventures over and over again, and as he gets them into trouble to spice things up. I think Indy's gonna get sick of it. He likes to get into trouble because trouble happens, not because Brendan Fraser intentionally screwed them over. I agree with you, and I think that down the line, they'll reconnect and it'll be passionate and Brendan Fraser will want it to last and he'll try to hold on. But Indy will point out that it's never going to last. It's just passion that fizzles out, and he's got, other people to do.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're right, Yael. I mean, Indiana Jones is definitely the more grounded one in this relationship, and Brendan Fraser is. I can absolutely see a point where Brendan Fraser shows up to a underground adventure, and Indiana Jones is like, "Is that my hat?" And Brendan Fraser is like, no, this is my own hat that I got because I thought it was cool. Me, this has nothing to do with you. Like, he's just slowly transforming more and more into Indiana Jones. Yeah,
I totally see it. And then like, a couple of years down the road that like they start just making money on the side. They start opening up, little adventures for people to go on, like little 2 to 3 minute things. You get in a cart and you learn about some kind of ancient artifact. Maybe it's at a park of some kind. It has a central theme to it. Indiana Jones opens one first because he sees the marketability, and then Brendan Fraser, well, I could do that. I could make my own. It's going to feel totally different than that. It's like no one's gonna say they're the same at all or get them confused.
Brendan Fraser at Universal Studios, just drunk out of his mind, holding a Minions cup, like, I can make my own theme park, right? What, you think you're the only one who can have a jungle adventure? Well, I can hook up a cart. Just desperately like shoving 3 separate churros into his mouth at the same time. Yeah.
Oh man. And then he's like, I'm not getting back at anybody because I'm hurt. I'm totally gonna put revenge in the title because that's how not a revenge thing this is.
It's irony, Indy. You wouldn't understand. Even after all this animosity, though, I can definitely see them having, if not like a total reconciliation, just at least some sort of acknowledgement, where they both try to reboot their franchises with limited success, like no one was quite feeling it, and they have this shared experience of like, yeah, we tried to go back to our past and it didn't quite work out, but maybe there is something from our past that we can reach out to. Maybe not a franchise, just a friend, and they at least have, if not a physical reconciliation, just at least there's some sort of an emotional reconciliation 20 years down the line. I can absolutely see that.
Sure. I think Indiana Jones remembers watching Brendan Fraser stick 3 churros in his mouth, and he goes, yes, we should reconcile.
I, too, have let myself go a little bit. Give me one of those churros, buddy. Come on, let's go on the Simpsons ride. It's great.
Oh man, I mean that's a nice like wholesome ending to a horrifying relationship.
It's not horrifying. It's passion. They have passion.
Well, horrifying to a lot of our listeners who never wanted to imagine these two hooking up. But that's what you get when you come to Ships in the Night.
And they're grateful for it.
Nightmares you never thought about, but then you're like, once you think about it, you're like, huh. I'm intrigued a little bit, maybe a little turned on. I think, well, we've reached a point. I think we got to ask ourselves, when it comes to Indiana Jones and Rick O'Connell, do you ship it? Greg, I want to start with you on this one. Do you ship it?
Oh, God, this is hard. You know what? Yeah. I do. I want to see these two. I like Brendan Fraser as a person. He seems like a nice guy. And I know that we're supposed to be shipping characters, but I've made obviously clear throughout this episode that I do not separate the two. It's just Harrison Ford and Brendan Fraser. And I think that they would make a cute couple. I want to see them together.
Yael, what about you? Do you ship it?
I didn't ship it before we began this conversation, and now I very much do. I think there's something passionate and sexy that they need to let out of their system, and I ship it. I want them to let their freak flag fly.
Yeah,
I ship it. These two are gonna get into some just hot and horny adventures that you can't. That's the kind of pulp novel we need in this world.
Yeah, I'd watch this porn.
You hear that, Van Nuys? Y'all would watch this porn. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then come right back with our next ship. Stick around. And we're back, and this time we have got get your musical instruments ready, warm up your vocal cords, because we've got a musical ship tonight. It is Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim and Dazzler from the X-Men. Oh, this is a good one. I'm so excited. Yael, I need to know what you think about this ship.
I think there's an interesting combination. I think there's a lot that could happen. I'm excited to discuss it, but I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant on this one.
Okay. All right. Fair. Gotta go with managed expectations to any new relationship. You don't want to overthink it right away. Yeah. Greg, what did you think? What did you think when you heard this one?
Oh man, star-crossed lovers from different eras, for sure. Like Dazzler, was there ever more someone who encapsulated that 70s, 80s aesthetic? And then you have someone who is firmly planted in the mid-2000s, encapsulates it to an absolute T. So it's going to be a real culture clash when you get these two together.
Well, that's the thing. I think there is somewhat of a I think they'll cross over because Dazzler has she's kind of evolved. She kind of got grunge a little bit recently, as the fallout from so many years being persecuted that she had to deal with. So I think these two definitely meet at a grunge club. But I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think of their meet cute might be. It's obviously somehow related to a concert in one kind or another.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question would be, what Dazzler are we using then? And I know that that's a loaded question. We always try to tiptoe around it on this pod. But, man, if we're going early Dazzler, then I think there's got to be some sort of retro appeal, right? That Ramona's looking for the next big thing. She's looking for the next underground hit.
I mean, maybe... Go ahead.
No, please.
Maybe this is, instead of Ramona running away, because in the Scott Pilgrim timeline, she gets away from Gideon. She gets away from Gideon, and she flees New York to go to Canada. That's why she goes to Canada. But what if she doesn't go so far? Maybe she's just I just need to get out of the city for a while. I don't need to leave New York. I'm just going to go up to Westchester and see if that's better speed for me. And so she goes up to Westchester, and there's a local bar, and she's just maybe I'll just go to see a local show, I can blend in. I can go have a drink at the bar and listen to some live music. And that is where Dazzler is putting on a little show with a bunch of X-Men just taking a break from whatever mission they just got back on.
I think even if it's classic disco Dazzler, I think that will appeal to Ramona, especially in that nostalgia. Everyone loves nostalgia. I don't see Ramona being anti-nostalgia. Vintage is cool. So I think that's what's going to appeal to her, is that classic disco Dazzler.
Oh yeah, everything old is new again. Like she sees a disco ball in this rundown bar. She's like, it's a little tacky. I don't know about that. And then she is just swept away by a wave of synth and artificially high falsetto singing. And it's just like, holy shit, everything old is new again. Like, I need this in my life. This is beautiful. This aesthetic, this sound, it's rocking into my veins and like satisfying me in a way that the sort of punk rock aesthetic never could.
All right. So I mean, these two like clearly hit it off like right away. Like it's kind of thing where she's like in the crowd. It's a classic movie moment. Fan in the crowd, listening to the music, dancing along, getting into it, catches eyes with the musician on stage, and then they're just staring at each other. Just like the singer never breaks from their routine. They're still going, but their eyes are locked because they have felt the connection that will drive the next 2/3 of the movie. And then it's like after the show, these two get together. Am I right there?
Yeah, they start chatting. You know, they play it coy because Ramona's not as experienced, I would say, as Dazzler in terms of sexual fluidity, and I think there's a little coyness and shyness there.
I mean, Ramona was, according to the canon of the movie, like a little bi-curious.
Sure, I would say Dazzler, 70s swinger parties, definitely has a little more experience. And I think they play it a little coy. And start chatting a little bit about what they're into, what they're doing in town. And the best part is, right, Ramona keeps her mysteries a secret, and Dazzler's an X-Men, so she also has to keep her mysteries a secret.
So is this a thing? So wait. They start hanging out a little bit. Nothing's quite happened yet, but then the plot of Scott Pilgrim catches up to them, and it becomes the 7 evil X's are coming for Dazzler.
I mean,
except that they're not at all prepared for the fact that they're going to take on an X-Men.
Yeah, from what I understand, that when you try to date Ramona, you have to deal with this garbage. So I think Dazzler's in for a fun surprise, and then so are the X's.
The X's, but like this is the that part of the movie goes by in like it's like a quick montage. It doesn't take a whole movie for her to destroy all of the X's. She takes them apart one by one by one by one, and then she's like, "Was that it? Were those the people?"
Yeah, she has power, so
yeah, she fucks them up.
And then Ramona has to deal with Dazzler's exes. I think that's when...
Oh, no, that's the sequel.
Yeah, it's like, well, now that the shoe is on the other foot, Ramona's just like, God, this is annoying. Like, this is a lot of work. People have to do this every time? Holy shit.
Oh, now I'm trying to remember who Dazzler has, like, dated, and it's like, oh, my nerd brain is like, wait,
but that's the thing, is that like I think that this is maybe good for Ramona, because like I'm remembering everything from the movie. I'm not as familiar with the actual like graphic novel stuff, but like in her Wikipedia page anyways, she's defined as a runner, right? Someone that sort of runs away from her problems and like doesn't like to stay in one place at any given time, right? She's sort of flighty. I think that this may be good for her, right? Ramona now has to like get into the world of the X-Men, where it's nothing but confronting like bad guys and confronting demons and fighting the good fight. It's a real hard 180 on her personality.
I like that. I really like this idea that she's kind of forced to confront things and grow up. And and I think originally I was feeling like Dazzler didn't deserve to have to deal with Ramona's exes. But then I was like, wait, she has powers, so this is gonna be easy. And really, I think that Dazzler's good for Ramona. She'll teach her, to grow the F up.
Yeah, grow musically and grow emotionally. Because Dazzler's been around, man. She's been through all the trends. And I think that's maybe, when you're in that fog of youth, right? You can't see the world beyond what is immediately around you, right? And Dazzler is someone who's been like, look, man, I had my disco phase. I've been rebooted more times than you can imagine. Like, there's more to the world than running away to Canada and wallowing in punk rock. Like, you can be a force for good, Ramona.
She introduces Ramona to Rogue from the first X-Men movie, who also was running away to Canada.
Listen, sweetie, I've been through this. I've seen this a lot of times. You think you're the first one to try to run away to Canada? Girl, we've all been there. And that's good for Ramona. It's like, listen, get outside yourself for just a little bit. Jesus.
Yeah, I see these two, like, that's the thing. I see these two truly forming like a partnership and like working together as they go. Am I wrong there that these two are going to they're really going to be supportive and help each other in ways that they've both been missing? Especially Dazzler. Dazzler had some weird stuff in her past. I think she could use somebody who maybe doesn't need to be fighting the evils of the world every day.
Yeah, I could see them being a real great supportive relationship, but I don't know that it has longevity.
Oh no? Why not?
I mean, I'm real protective of Dazzler, and I think she deserves better. I think Ramona, again, has a lot of growing to do. And although Dazzler is going to help her grow, I think that it's not her responsibility. And eventually, because Dazzler will continue to grow and mature as well, I think eventually she'll outgrow Ramona.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. I think at a certain point, Dazzler's like, listen, Ramona, you got to go to grad school or something. Like, you can't be an Amazon delivery driver for the rest of your life. Like, did you ever think about getting your BA in programming or something? Like, I don't know, you really like that pixel art aesthetic. Why don't you try learning InDesign? You could try to transition that into a successful graphic design career.
Or like get your certificate as a hairstylist or something. You're good at it. You know how to work with a dye. Like you can make your own career.
I see Ramona not taking that well. She's gonna be begging to. I can do the hair of the X-Men. I can make their branding. Like, I can help with your website. Please don't abandon me. I've gotten too attached now.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of business at the fucking academy. Professor X, like, what are you gonna do there? You gonna buff that? Like, come on.
Well, a school needs a website and pamphlets, recruiting materials, uniforms.
Well, that's gonna be a special because she's never been dumped before, according to the movie. Right. I believe that's also true of the comic. It's been way longer since I read the comic than when I saw the movie. But yeah, I don't think she's ever been dumped before, so it's gonna be rough on Ramona. But maybe that's what she needs. She needs that so that she can understand what she has to do out in the world.
Oh yeah, you got to get your heart broken, like, at least once. So, it's gonna be brutal. But yeah, going with our theme of growth and acceleration, I think that's probably ultimately good for her. Dazzler, I think, is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
And she knows it, and like Dazzler's not one. Look, Dazzler's been an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. She knows what it is to have responsibility, and she can't be holding on to Ramona and supporting her all the time. She needs to focus on herself.
Poor Dazzler thought this was going to be like a one-night stand, like a quick hookup. And now she's inadvertently responsible for the growth and development of this young woman. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I think that's the thing is she realizes that
work holding on to the franchise of like trying to boot up an entire musical Marvel universe. But this one girl is draining me. Sorry, I cut you off, Zach.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, and that's the thing. She realizes that she has to take. She can't be just helping this girl. She has to help herself as well. And so she moves on. She moves on with her life. And it's probably better for everybody. But that's how relationships go. You learn from each other. You grow, and then if it's not going to work out, you move on. Mm-hmm. But now we have to ask, we know that these two move on. Do we ship it? Yeah, I'm going to start with you this time.
I ship it as a B storyline to a film. I ship it as we're watching an X-Men movie and also there's this B storyline going on and it ends by the end of the film. Yeah, I ship that. Any more than that and I absolutely am bored, but that's fine.
Yeah, I have to say, for similar reasons, but I don't ship it. I don't ship it because as a viewer, I'm bored. This is nice. Like, it's good that they grow and everything. I'm happy for them, but I don't need that. I want excitement in my X-Men's.
Their relationship's too real. It's
yeah. We made them
gritty X-Men. Just mumblecore X-Men.
X-Men relationships are not the same if it doesn't involve either a love triangle that eventually turns into a vague hint at polyamory when John Hickman gets his hands on them, and or maybe some time travel shenanigans where where she gives birth to her future husband somehow, which is actually Dazzler's story. If it's not that, why even have romance in the X-Men? Greg, do you ship it?
I'm gonna go ahead and tip into the I do not ship it territory. It's one of those things that I think would get a marketing executive really excited on paper, where it's like, we're going to get this 80s aesthetic mixed in with this cool 2000s chick. And like, it just, it fizzles out so fast. Poor Dazzler is doing so much goddamn work here when she should just be out touring and letting her light shine, And I understand that it's good for Ramona, and yes, it's gonna make her grow and all of that, but oh god, that's a lot of work to put on somebody. Poor fucking Dazzler, she's in charge of the entire Marvel music universe, and you're sticking her with this emotional baggage? I can't do it.
You keep saying that, but look, Spidey's had a Broadway musical. He can do his own fair share of the musical Marvel stuff.
I think that proved very much he cannot. And that Dazzler's lack of involvement with that project was its downfall.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we've told the story. We found at least a story. I don't know that anybody's gonna buy it and produce it in this case, but we've told the story of Ramona Flowers and Dazzler. So I think let's close the book there, and then we'll come back with our matchmaker segment. Stick around. And we're back, and once again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been listening to Ships of the Night. We appreciate it so much from the bottom of our hearts. If you get a moment, go ahead, go to the whatever platform you happen to be listening to the show on, and leave us a little comment, rating, review. I love hearing like what you guys are thinking, or like what ships you guys have been playing with in your own lives. Go on, tell us, who are you shipping? We want to know. But while we wait for your responses, because that would be boring, we just sat here and waited, we're going to get to our matchmaker segment. So let's turn that sign around, open the doors. The matchmaking service is open. Yael, we hear you have a friend who needs to find love. Tell us about him.
Yeah. I wanted to bring you someone that I think everyone knows. And he's a little lonely. He's a little bit of a workaholic, I would say. His name is Cap'n Crunch. Not Captain. I believe his full name is Cap'n Horatio Crunch.
That can't be real.
I'm pretty sure it is. He also has a middle name. It's escaping me right now. But Horatio, Captain.
It's delicious,
Horatio
I'm sure, right?
Magellan Crunch.
Magellan, thank you. I forgot his middle name.
I never knew this.
Yeah, that's why he's my friend. He's looking for some love. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, we even if you don't know how to spell captain, we can still find love for you here at Ships in the Night. And we have two options that I think are going to work out great. But we can only pick one. We can only set them up on one date. So we're going to throw some options at you, and you let us know what you're thinking. Greg, why don't you take it away?
So, Captain Crunch represents a cereal that is known universally as the most dangerous breakfast cereal known to man. It can scratch up the inside of your mouth. It can get soggy super fast. You need someone who can protect that asset. You need someone who understands the military lifestyle, but is really good at making sure that you can protect those troops. That's why I want to ship Captain Crunch with the General from General Auto Insurance. For the best car insurance rates online, go to General, saves on time. This is a man who has an equally impressive mustache, who understands the military life, but it's from a different branch, so it mixes it up. And it's someone who understands the hazards of driving a big-ass boat through people's living rooms. And also, he's friends with Shaquille O'Neal, which I think that the Captain Crunch would find very
Wow.
Yeah.
What a selling point. That's Shaquille O'Neal.
I mean, that's really the main selling point, is that he knows Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
So, Zach, in case for some reason, I can't imagine how, but in case some selling point isn't sticking here with the General, do you have an alternate pick for Captain Crunch?
Oh, I do, Greg. See, here's the thing. Captain Crunch, I'm sorry. We know that old Horatio, he's put in a lot of work over the years, but he's really just a kid at heart. I mean, look at those bright colors, how much he loves his cereal. It's somebody like that. They need somebody who is going to be exciting, but is exciting in a way that he's never experienced before. That's why we need to set up Captain Crunch with another Captain Morgan, because Captain Crunch, he's such a good guy, but he needs to get loose. He needs to just get out on the seas and have some fun. And who better than someone who's going to take him out for a good time, get him nice and loaded, and then see how much you can really get into those berries. These two, I mean, look, you dip those berries in rum, let them soak. That is a treat that these two will be sucking off each other's chests all night long.
Wow.
Oh God!
Did not have that
rum-soaked crunch berries. Jesus! Oh God!
Did not have that thought prepared before I started talking.
Clearly
it just happened.
I'm so impressed.
Well, those are the two options. Yael, do you have any questions for us before we go into our rebuttal round?
Yes, I would like to. I think I've asked this before, and I think it's such a good question. To describe a date with my friend Horatio, and your pair, your partner.
Okay.
All right.
I can do that.
Greg, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got what their first date is going to be like. What are we sending these two out on? Go ahead.
So the general is obviously going to go to the Captain Crunch factory and assess the risk of a manufacturing malfunction in which Oops All Berries enters into the cereal. And he's going to give the Captain Crunch a quote and a price estimate on what it would take to get a monthly insurance plan to ensure that that does not happen, or that if it does happen, the captain is financially compensated and he doesn't need to sell the resulting disastrous cereal.
Okay, Zach.
So you're trying to get Oops All Berries all the way. I'm telling you, Captain Crunch is there to help make Oops All Berries happen. He's going to get in there, and they're just going to be making mistakes all over the place. These two go out for a night at sea, just the two of them, aboard Captain Morgan's ship, and they open up a barrel, and they just are drinking, like singing big songs, letting the berries all over the place. These two are having a good time. They're not having some nerdy insurance talk. This is Captain Crunch having fun, and that's what he needs.
Yeah.
Oops, all Taco Bell drive-through. Oops, all purchases on Amazon that you don't remember that arrive 3 days later. Oops, the entire Blu-ray collection of Golden Girl.
Look, you're gonna make some mistakes, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun while you do it. Well, Yael, we have two options for your friend Captain Crunch. I'm sorry, Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch.
Yes.
And we just want to know, who do you want to set your friend up on a date with? The General or Captain Morgan?
I will say, at first, I was very much all about the general. I think the height difference would be helpful, or lack of difference. I think their height would be helpful. I think they both understand each other in the military. And I think Shaq is definitely a selling point. But you're right, Zach, that Horatio does need to let loose and have fun. And I think that Morgan would show him a good time and make sure that he remembers that, you know, there's more to life than just working on the open seas. There's party and enjoyment and pleasure. And I think Captain Morgan's going to be the right call.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, as someone who has gotten very drunk and eaten a lot of Captain Crunch, I can tell you it's going to work out bad. real bad.
You had the general.
But I respect your choice. And Zach, I congratulate you.
Look, don't congratulate me. Congratulate the happy couple, because this is all for them.
As long as Captain is happy, then I'm happy.
Yeah, I think Horatio would be very happy. And you know, I could see them one day calling the general to join them, as long as he brings Shaq along.
Look, at some point they're going to need insurance for their boat, and they're going to call the general. They're going to be like, look, we don't have a lot of time because we've just been having hot, drunken sex all day. So we got to save some time by calling the general. And then it's just awkward for everybody. Speaking of awkward, I'm going to leave it right there and just thank you so much, Yael, for joining us again on Ships of the Night. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I love coming here and being weird.
That's what we do best. And now you are because you're doing shows on your own. You have a Twitch channel that you recently launched. Tell people, where can they go if they want to watch you live?
Yeah, so you can watch me live on Sundays at 4 p.m. on Fanversation on a show called Super Lady Hero Hour, where we talk about all things superheroes. And then I do have a Twitch channel on Mondays and Wednesdays at around 1 p.m. Pacific time, where I try to play video games. And if you're the type of person who likes to tell people how to play video games or Backseat Drive, this is the show for you, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Nice. So go give Yael advice on how to be a proper gamer. Awesome. Greg, anything you want to plug?
Nope. I'm offline, baby. It's great. I've never been happier. The web is toxic. Everybody log off.
Well, do me a favor before you log off. Just double check your voter registration. That's what I'll say. That'll be my plug. Go double check that you're still registered to vote in your state, and make sure that you've got all the boxes checked so that you can do it properly, because it's confusing as hell out there this year. Everybody stay safe. Go vote. I'm Zach Wilson, at that Zach Wilson. This is Ships in the Night, at Shipping Pod on wherever this Twitter and Instagram. I would say all the socials, but that's it. We have Twitter and Instagram. Until next time, guys, this has been Ships in the Night, casting off.